What are seller concessions and how can I get them? So there's some instances where the seller may pay some money towards your closing costs and your prepaid expenses. And in doing that, you can get a variety of numbers from the seller, anywhere from 0 up to 9% in some instances. The most common we see is about 3%, which you can get when you put less than 10% down on a conventional financing, and that can be paid towards your closing costs and prepaid expenses. You can't get more than your actual costs, but you can get up to the amount of your costs. So one thing I want you to consider when you're making an offer on a house and you're asking the seller to pay closing costs, you are asking them to take less in their pocket for that house. So let's just say you ask the seller on a $300,000 house to pay 3% in closing costs. That's $9,000 if you ask for 3%. That means they're getting $291 for that house instead of $300. And if you think of it backwards, essentially you are financing your closing costs. So keep that in mind when you are coming to offer on or ask the seller to pay closing costs. Also, your house needs to appraise high enough. So let's just say you would have offered $291 for the house and maybe that's all it's worth and it only appraises at $291. The first thing the seller is going to do if you had the $300,000 with the seller paid closing costs is they're going to drop those closing costs. So keep that in mind when you're making offers on houses. The appraisal is a piece of that puzzle too.